What's up, everybody? You're listening to the one and only T-Mac Inspired Podcast. Listen as she sits down with regular people to discuss the ideas, the opportunities, and the wealth-building strategies that they're taking advantage of so the rest of us can do the same.
Cherese.
Hello. How are you, Tasha?
I am doing fantabulous. Fantabulous.
I love it. Yes, ma'am. I know you are. I love it. Mm-hmm.
Just in case the people out there don't know or haven't figured it out yet, I start out pretty strong.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I'm up for the challenge.
So let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
The day that you were on assignment in New York.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a gun was drawn on you.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Okay. Yeah. So that has never happened to me before, nor have I ever been in that situation. So, there was a situation in a hotel that we were staying because they were doing the sheltering in place, and all that was in this hotel were nurses. And someone had come to the hotel manager and begged him to allow him to come in because they had some issues. So he was like, okay, like, I don't want to be a total dick about this, so I'll rent your room, because rates were really cheap at that time. So apparently, unbeknownst to me, who I was off that day, sitting in my room, I had ordered Grubhub. Like, I hardly ever eat beef, but today I wanted a beef, like a hamburger, right? So I ordered Grubhub, and the driver had called, because I don't let them come up to anywhere near my room. I'll meet them, downstairs. So I had my cell phone, my key card, I had on a sweatshirt, some leggings, and some flip-flops. So that's relevant to this story. So I went to go downstairs to get my to meet the driver, and at the hotel you can only make a right. So you couldn't even go left. There was nothing there except for a water fountain. I was rounding the corner, and all I felt or heard was, "Put your hands up! Put your hands up! Put your hands up!" And this gun to my temple, to the point where I could just feel it. And I heard click, 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 click. Right. And I mean, I'll never forget, click, 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 click. And I'm standing there, and I'm just like frozen. Like, so now I truly understand that fight or flight, and I just completely froze. I said, "I hear you, but I can't move. I cannot move." And I was like, is this a fucking drill? Because why else would a gun be to my head? And it was like, I kind of looked out my peripheral, and I see this tall white guy, and the gun was long. I don't carry a gun, so I'm not familiar with which type it was, but it was like a long gun, and I'm looking at him like this. I still have my hands up, and he was like, back up, back up, back up. I was like, sir, I can't move. Like, I hear you. I'm not trying. I just don't, my body, like, I couldn't move. So then he was part of a SWAT team. So another man was coming in front of me, and he had his gun raised. And I was just like, oh, like, can someone tell me what's going on? And the manager heard my voice, and he was like, Cherese, is that you? And I said, yes. So he told the guys, he was like, guys, I told you, we have nurses here that are helping us fight this COVID shit. She's one of our nurses. So the guy in front of me lowered his gun, but this guy didn't. I could still just feel it on my left temple. And so I'm just like, so the guy in front of me was like, go to your car. And I was like, I don't have a car. Because typically when I went on assignment, I would stay close enough, because I like to walk. And so I was like a mile away from the hospital. So I would walk back and forth. I would get up, walk, and I would meditate during my walk. And then after my shift, walk back just to kind of decompress. So I didn't have a car. So he's like, get in your car, get in your car. I was like, I don't have a car. And he was like, come on. I was like, can I go get a bra on? I don't know why I said that, but I was just like, he was like, no, I'm going to cover you. I was like, cover me? Like, oh, what is going on? So, we ran across the parking lot to another hotel. It was raining, it was cold. And, I just didn't want to, so we made it over there, and I was, at that point safe. So what happened? So the people that came into the hotel were, I don't even know who, but they had invited someone into the hotel and then robbed them at gunpoint. So the lady's running out of the hotel screaming, her clothes are ripped, she's bleeding, and they're running after her with their guns drawn. So the manager called the police, and it was such a small, smaller town that the SWAT team was dispatched. So yeah, and that caused PTSD that I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
that I have.
So you're on assignment. You're like on assignment in New York as a nurse, taking care of COVID patients. You are in a COVID crisis situation. Like, you're there risking your life health-wise by taking care of COVID patients, number one. And then on your day off, because I from what I understand, you guys work long days and a lot of days in a row. So on your day off, you just want to go downstairs to get Grubhub and go back to your room to rest. And you have a gun pulled out on you to your head. Not just pulled out, but just touching your head for something you knew nothing about. So what did that do as far as your nursing career?
At that point, like, with that entwined with how we were treated with the beginning of the COVID policies, I was done. I was already planning my exit out, but I'm a planner. I had a dollar amount that I had wanted to save, I was just going to thug it out until I reached that amount. Right. But when that happened, I was done. I was like, middle fingers up, you, not you, but you, and I had never in my entire nursing career, and I mean, not saying, but when I am on assignment and when I signed a contract, I was there until the last day. Or even when I was a staff nurse, when I put my 2 weeks in, I was there on my last day. I was not one of those that, called out every day. That's just not my, because you never know. I don't want to burn any bridges, and I operate with integrity. That was the first time, and at that time I had been a nurse for 20 years, that I ended a contract. I was like, I'm done.
So I would be too, by the way. For sure.
Right.
So did you know what you were going to do next with your nursing career? Did you have any idea?
I didn't. At the time, prior to that incident, I was thinking of, I was doing consulting, and I also was looking into non-emergency transportation. My son and I had been speaking on this for a couple years, and I had researched, and I was getting my money saved up. I had money saved up to buy like a used van, but when that happened, like, I was just so discouraged. I didn't realize that I was suffering PTSD and some depression from not only that, I think that was the straw, but being an emergency room trauma nurse for so long, I am the queen of compartmentalization, right? And so that, I think, I just exploded. And that is just so out of character for me, because like, I always like to be, I don't want to say in control, but like have myself together, so that, to answer your question, that my mind just went blank, everything shut down, and I didn't know what I was going to do next.
Wow. So take us through the point of not knowing what you're going to do with your nursing career, because that's your bread and butter, obviously.
Yes.
To working with having celebrity clients now. That happened. I mean, you go from, I'm chilling out, minding my business, okay, now there's a gun to my head. Oh my God, I gotta quit work. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And now you're working with celebrity clients. Like, what happened?
I know, right? And I love that. Like, I feel like, you know, I definitely feel like I was in alignment. So when I came home, I literally sat upstairs in my room, and I like white Chardonnay. I didn't realize how many bottles I was going through, you know, because that's kind of when I realized that, oh, girl, like, you're depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't realize it until I was like, ew.
Bottle number 10.
With no glass, may I add.
Oh yeah, let's just straight to the head. Okay.
Right. So, you know, so I said, and I don't like to stay down for long, because that's just, you know, that's just not who. Right. So I was like, what am I going to do right now? And I knew this was right at the same time where Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, and Breonna, you know, so may they all rest in peace, but the racial disparities, you know, and I just knew that I could not go back into a hospital and deal with the divide on top of the PTSD and the depression, right? So I had to figure out something. So at the time I was like, okay. So I started, you know, designing masks and t-shirts. And I actually made a lot of money doing that too, like in a few months that I did it, you know, so I was just like, okay, but I knew I couldn't do that for, I don't know, I just wanted to do something more. I felt like I needed to still impact people. That is so important to me. So, you know, I came across Tam's post on Facebook. She was advertising her a CLIA waiver. It was like $199. I was like, I don't know what this is. You know, I researched it, I looked it up, and I was like, you know what? I feel like I can do this, you know? I feel like I can do it, you know? But at the time I was like, okay, I didn't have the money saved up that I needed. And I was just really trying to hold on to what I had. I was like, you know what, Cherese, you'll be okay. So I sent the $200, was able to fill out the application. And at that point, when I received my CLIA waiver certificate, COVID, it was not EU approved for at-home testing, or, you know, for Waived labs to test. So I said, okay. So I was like, okay, I went on to Canva. I designed me a brochure. There are a lot of warehouses here in my area in Georgia and outside of Atlanta. I said, I'm gonna start here. So I was like, okay, Cherese, in my head, you know, driving, girl, you're not gonna come home until you get rid of, you know, 20 brochures. I said, okay, girl. So I did. And at the time, these warehouses, they were locked. So I'm knocking on the door, you know, knock, knock, knock. And, you know, I would tell them about, you know, mobile lab testing by Cherese. I was offering drug screens, flu injections, and PPD at the time, right? So I did that. And then not too long after that, I did see a posting for a nurse needed for a production studio here in Atlanta. So I applied for it, and I was the nurse coordinator, the nurse coordinator of the VIP clients for Atlanta. So I had all the heavy hitters that were filming in this area. So I would coordinate their schedules, and I would provide services to them. So one of my clients, he was just like, you know, I had ordered my car magnets from Vistaprint. So one day I pull up at his house, and he was like, oh, wait, what? You do what? So, you know, I told him, and so he was like, you know what, my family is coming, and they cannot come in here because he's filming unless they're tested, you know? So, you know, I started testing his family. And then when he was finished filming, he still continued to employ me, and he passed my name along to other celebrities who passed my name along. And then I did receive a call from a producer, and so from Fox Soul. So I tested them, and Netflix calls now, like so that's how that happened. Like, I just really feel like I was in perfect alignment, you know, with getting that first client. Because, you know, he had referred me to them, and they, you know, continue to refer me. So I tell people, I feel like I'm like a video vixen. I'm like a COVID text vixen. been through the music industry.
I know, right? So there's so many lessons here. I mean, I can just break this down like for days.
Right,
because
right.
You know, everybody knows me, who knows me know that I have a passion for helping, especially women entrepreneurs, you know, nurses in particular, you know, that's my heart.
Absolutely.
You know, coming from nursing, you know, for 27 years. But, you know, when I talk to women entrepreneurs and I'm just pouring out my soul to them in, you know, real estate for one, and then business, stuff like that. But when I actually see it from someone who I've worked with, because I've worked with you, you know,
yes, ma'am.
On my platform, you know, in my world, and to see you just say, you know what, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take a little bit from here. I'm going to take a little bit from there. And then I'm going to, you know, I'm going to make it my own. Like that thing that's to, you know, to say, you know what, I'm suffering with PTSD. I'm suffering with depression. But guess what? Hey, Tam got this thing going on over here with this CLIA wave stuff. I'm going to tap into it, you know, so that network and saying, I'm going to tap into it. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to go on Canva. I'm going to make my flyers. I'm going to pass them out. I'm not coming home until I pass out 10. You know, you just didn't stop. You did not stop.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I always try to tell women entrepreneurs or especially nurses who want to get in entrepreneurship and they're stuck. Like you have to, it's one step in front of the other. You did not know that day when you were in New York with the gun to your, you didn't know that you were going to be testing celebrities shortly thereafter.
Right. Absolutely not. Never even thought about it. Right.
You know, things are going to come. They're going to come. I mean, thank God, you know, you're alive.
Right.
But things are going to come. You know, sometimes we always say, you know, God will tap you on your shoulder and you don't pay attention. And then, you know, he may hit you on your head, you don't pay attention. And then he'll take a boulder and knock you upside your head and cause a contusion. Then you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
You know, this is
absolutely
okay. I'm not supposed to do that. And that's what I find that a lot of nurses and a lot of just people that work 9 to 5
in general.
In general, they want to do something better. They want to make an impact, but they allow obstacles to keep them from doing that. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you made up your mind, like this is it, and then you started getting those clients, those high profile clients, working with Netflix, you know, working with Fox, you know, working with all these people, thinking back on that, what do you think was like the number one thing that really catapulted your business?
My confidence. I was able, and I say this a lot, and that's not to be, humble or anything like that, or conceited or anything like that. That is very humbling because, and I say this a lot, you know, I knew as Cherese Pate, the ER trauma nurse, I know that I'm a kick-ass nurse, right? But when it came to business, in that entrepreneur journey, I was a little like, you know, but once I developed that confidence and I was able to speak about my business and continue to show up as the expert, that's when I feel like, you know, God was like, okay, girl, like, this is what, you know, you're ready, you know? So I feel like myself, going through these motions and having the confidence building. But yeah, just being able to connect with these people, I feel like that's what catapulted it.
Being confident. I'm tickled right when you said that. 6 hours ago, I made a reel.
Okay.
And the reel says, having confidence in your abilities and what you offer the world is key to your success. No lie,
yes.
6 hours
Right.
ago, you know,
Right.
and it's on my
Right.
story, so I didn't want to, I screenshotted it. When you said the word confidence, it's that is, if you're confident in your ability, in your ability or abilities, right? And
yes.
And what you offer the world, right? You are going to be successful.
Yes. Yes. So true.
I mean, that's what it is. It's crazy that you said that. I'm you know me, I get chills and I'm like, why don't she say it was confident? Because, you know, a lot of people, why do you think a lot of people are not confident?
Well, I think the number one thing is they don't believe that they can do it, that they don't believe that they can achieve whatever they're thinking, you know? So, you know, they may speak it, but then they really just don't have the faith in their heart and their mind and their heart are in alignment. And so that will deter them from, you know, having that self-confidence and moving forward. That's my opinion about it. What do you think? I know this is your interview, but what do you think?
Oh, no, I agree totally. But I think people don't have the confidence because confidence comes from being truthful with yourself and doing what you say you're going to do when nobody else is around. That's how you build confidence. People don't know that.
Absolutely.
But so you can't promise somebody else something and be confident to do it when you don't do it for yourself.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna give you an example. Like every morning or almost every morning, I get up and I get on my Peloton, right?
Yeah.
And I'm confident in the fact that I have developed a routine to stay healthy. I'm confident in that. You know, I drink a gallon of water every day. I'm confident in that. So that transpires over into my business life.
Yes. True.
If I can do what I say I'm going to do personally, guess what? I'm confident. I'm confident that I'm going to bring it professionally.
Right. Absolutely. And that is true. And you know, like I said earlier, like integrity, you know, like I said, I had never ended an assignment, or if I put in my 2 weeks notice, I stayed to that last day. That was personally, like I mean, you know, of course it's good if I showed up, but you know, if I had already quit, you know, who cared? But for me, I cared, you know, and I continue with that because my name is everything, you know. So when, you know, when people say Cherese Pate, people are going to go, oh, you know, not, ooh, you know.
Right. Oh, for sure. And so it's how, you know, I always say it is how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
How you do anything is how you do everything. So if you were a quitter, just, you know, just a quitter, you would not be where you are today, you know, working with these high profile clients.
Absolutely.
You sent me a text a couple weekends ago, like, I need 100 tests in Miami. I'm doing was it a celebrity wedding or something?
Yeah.
I gotta test 100 people. And I started calling people like, I gotta 500 tests and But anyway, but that went off well, right? It went well.
Yeah, it did. I had Lady Fire, Rashan Jones. I reached out to her. So because the people reached out to me, you know, she's one of my clients, and she's like, Cherese, you know, we need help. So I said, well, sis, because I love her. She's so humble, you know. So I was like, sis, let me help you, you know. So she knew, she knew that, you know, we need someone like you.
Right. Now you do teach other people how to start their own CLIA lab?
I do. I started in February of last year, and the reason being was people were, because this CLIA thing, it has its ebbs and flows, right? So last year when it was ebbing, you know, these people were getting their CLIA waivers because they think that all you got to do is fill out the application properly and go get a box of COVID tests and start testing. So a lot of people were getting their waivers and not sure of what to do next. So that was like, okay, that's kind of what inspired me. So I did reach out to Tam. I was like, hey Tam, like, you know, I know that you are the the OG,
queen of CLIA Labs.
The queen of CLIA Labs, but I wanted to focus on the mobile aspect. She was like, girl, she said, go ahead. She was like, I support you 100%. So, you know, because I didn't want to feel, you know, her to feel like, you know, stepping on her toes or anything like that.
We're running the same circle, you know.
Right. You know, so I did. I went to her first before I even typed out anything. I, you know, made sure that it was, you know, had her blessing. And so when she gave it to me, I, you know, formulated a course. My first course was, you have your CLIA waiver, now what? But then, you know, because my DMs and my Instagram started blowing up with all these questions, you know, especially after I posted when I was on that private jet testing the pilots. So I got that gig from one of the directors. His family was coming in and he wanted them to be safe. So that's how I got that gig. And then so my DM started blowing up. So I said, I have to do something. And so to date, I have helped 66 people. So that makes me happy. Yeah.
I'm gonna cry. Yeah. You know, I'm a little hard on the outside, but I'm really mushy inside. Because you know my heart.
Yes, I do. I truly, that's one thing I do know. I do.
And I love to see, I just love to see when people, everyday people, make a difference.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I love that.
Yes. Thank you.
So you help people. Are you still helping people who reach out to you?
Yeah, I am. Yes, ma'am. I surely am.
Now, I want to talk about your spa. I want to talk about your day. Is the day spa?
It's a med spa. Yes.
Med spa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what made you decide to get into the med spa business?
I know. Okay, so my business partner, I knew her from an assignment. We were both ER nurses, kept in touch all these years. And so when I was making masks and t-shirts, designing a t-shirt, she reached out to me because she was rebranding her. She has her hydration business and she was rebranding. So I did her t-shirts and masks for a photo shoot. One day we got on the phone because I had started teeth whitening and body contouring, non-medical, because I wanted to keep my overhead down. So I started doing that as well. And she and I had a phone conversation and she was like, oh, I didn't know you were doing that. That's something I've been looking to branch off into. So we decided to, you know, join and become partners. And we opened Elevated Lifestyle Health and Beauty Med Spa in Marietta, Georgia. We actually started taking clients in May, but we did a ribbon cutting in October of 2021.
So how's that going?
It is going good. We have our clients. We have several people on memberships, like, because we really do push memberships. We do IV hydration, we do facials, we do body contour, and I said teeth whitening, G steams, which are the yoni steams, but we just call them G steams. We have medical weight loss and several other, and I've also incorporated the CLIA testing into that as well. So right.
Oh my God.
Like, right, just right on in there. So our clientele is building and growing. So I'm excited about that. We're growing. We're definitely growing. Right now it's a little slow, but I'm not even worried about that because you know, people are reaching out to us every day.
Right. You know, businesses have their ebbs and flows.
Oh, absolutely.
And one thing that I found, because you know, I've been in business for 26 years.
Yeah.
One thing that I've found is that new entrepreneurs don't understand that there's cycles in your business. Absolutely. So during those cycles, during the times when your business isn't doing as much as it was a couple months prior, a lot of entrepreneurs quit. Right. I know how to pivot because obviously I've been in business for a long time. I know how to pivot. So what do you say to the entrepreneurs who are struggling with those ebb and flows in their business? What do you do? What do you do?
Right. So one thing, and I have learned this, you have to love your business when your business doesn't love you. And that would be
wait, whoa. That's wait a minute, that's a tweetable moment. Hold on. Look, I gotta turn my voice recorder on so I can look. I know I can go back and watch this, but I need this on my voice recorder. Hold on. What?
Yes, ma'am.
Say that one more time.
Right. You have to love your business when your business doesn't love you.
What does that mean?
That means like during the, how we have the ebbs and flows. So when you're in the valley, that's like you said, people do want to quit. Oh, I'm not getting any calls. No one's in here. I've been sitting up here for a week. I'm paying this overhead. So I might as well just quit and go back to bedside, from a nursing standpoint. But instead of that, I'm going to thug it out. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to go market. I'm going to go talk to people. I'm going to try to drive traffic in. I'm going to host events, to bring traffic to an area. So that's what that means. Like, you have to keep going. It's easier to give up than it is to keep going. It really is. It truly.
It is easier to give up than to keep going. Mm-hmm. That's very true. Girl, so many gems. I'm telling you've given a blueprint. You've given several different blueprints during this conversation. Like, you really have.
Oh, thank you.
For those who are paying attention to this. I mean, what else do you have going on?
So I had so one thing that I have going on that just really touches my heart is in December of 2020, at the time she was 3, Anne-Marie, she was diagnosed with leukemia, right? And it really rocked our world. And this little trooper, we call her Princess Warrior, right? Because she is, oh my God, she needs to be a guest.
She will be. She'll be on my show.
Because she, like, just looking at her and how she has endured this diagnosis, So I am doing a coloring book and activity series based around leukemia and the signs and symptoms from her point of view. Right. So, so parents and other children can understand or get an idea of, one day you're fine and you're not, sick, but then the next day you're sick. And when she took, the medicine and it caused all of her hair to come out, how we helped her get through that, and still keep her confidence and still help her grow. So these are things that are in the activity and coloring book. And I'm talking to Children's Hospital now about putting that, on their oncology ward. And so then that parlayed into a second book because her brother, my grandson, who is 6, this diagnosis, as bad as it was, he's still a human being. So at the time, his mom was pregnant. She's remarried from my son. They're divorced, my son and she. So she's remarried and she was pregnant at the time. So now here comes the new baby, and here comes Anne-Marie that's always sick. So he kind of felt left out. But this is a commonality for families that have a sick child or even a newborn, that one child feels left out. Although we were trying to incorporate him in everything, people were sending gifts and money and, but he felt really left out. So that's the second part of the series of the leukemia diagnosis through Anne-Marie's eyes is what it's called. And so the second one would be, basically through Dalen's eyes, a sibling that's sick. So that, yeah.
So it's going to be coloring books and what else?
It's coloring books, and so everything, like all of the things that you can color have something to do with like a symptom. Like I'm feeling fine today with a smile, and then I'm sick, and there's actually a picture of them over the toilet, and there are activities like the number, draw, connect the dots, just things to keep them occupied while they're at their doctor's office or even in the hospital. So, like a easy word puzzle, like a circle, for the kids, where they can, like a word search. That's what sorry. Couldn't find the word.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So are there lessons in it other than just the symptoms, or how are you tying that in?
Right. So the first one is really about the symptoms and how she felt throughout her journey. So the second one will have a little more lessons, because that's more so on Dalen and how he was feeling, and how parents, families, and friends can continue to help embrace that. I don't want to say the left out child, but the child that feels left out, because we didn't intentionally leave him out, but he felt it. But his feelings were real, because your feelings are your feelings, So yeah.
So how are you guys going to, or how are you going to release this to the world, or are you going to just have it in doctor's offices, or what does that look like?
Right. So I'm set up on Amazon, so self-publishing. And like I said, I'm speaking with Children's Hospital right now, as well as, and I did forget to mention, there's 2 cancer groups, 2 children's groups that I'm speaking to see, if they want to put that book on their platform as well. So
you have such a good heart.
Thank you.
So
right.
much.
Thank you. I know you're my girl, and you know that.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, Tao, I want you to speak to the nurse who's at the bedside. She wants to get into entrepreneurship. She's probably dabbled in entrepreneurship. But she still feels stuck. Can you speak to her for a minute?
I sure can. Because this is a conversation that I have with the people that I do consultations with. Sis, I understand right now that you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because you need your bills to be paid, and you are so comfortable, or you know that you have that bi-weekly or weekly paycheck coming in. However, at the end of the day, you cannot leave this hospital to your beautiful children. So while you are doing this, while you're still working, why don't you try to transition a little bit into entrepreneurship? Start that business, take some courses, get a mentor, get out there, but you have to get started. And the better and the sooner you get started, the better off you'll be. Because at the end of the day, these hospitals do not care about you. They don't. They will have your position posted sooner than you put in your 2 weeks notice, And I will also say too, that they make us feel so guilty about being human. They make us feel guilty if we want time off. If we're sick, or if a child is sick, they want us to still be there. And you won't have to worry about that when you have your own business, because you'll be making your own hours. So I say, sis, do it. Start that business today. That's what I would say.
Y'all heard it. Y'all got some great advice. So Cherese, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Mobile Labs by Cherese, and I'm on Facebook. I have Mobile Labs by Cherese, and also Cherese Pate. You can reach me at 404-618-3353, or my website, which is www.mobilelabsbycherese, that's CHERESE.com. If you want a massage or a facial, you can go to Elevated Lifestyle. Lyfe is LYFE style.com.
All right. So don't worry about remembering all that. I'm going to put all the links. I'm going to put all her handles, social media handles, in the description. So don't worry about it. Just go click on it so you'll have it. And maybe if they tell you that they heard about you through TMAC Inspired Podcast, they may get a little discount, right?
Yes, they will. Because I know how T-Mac likes her affiliations. And
yes, I do.
Yes.
We're talking about that on the back end, but I'm just saying. And I see you we have on our matching shirts today.
We do. I purchased this, I think, was this 2019 or was it 20? I think it was 2019.
It was a while ago, maybe 2019. Mm-hmm. You got this hashtag inspire shirt. So what does that mean?
Yes.
Tell me what that means to you before we end.
Inspired. So it means that I still want to inspire people, and I allow people to inspire me. It's just walking around full of just love and joy, like seriously, and just full of inspiration.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you again, sis, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This was such an honor and a pleasure. So thank you.
I love you.
Love you too, girl.
Hey. Don't forget to follow me if you're not on all platforms at TMAC_inspired. All right. See you on the next episode. Bye.